Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our entitled people. In today's episode, EF thinks my baby doesn't deserve to be baptized. When my sister sold all of my old Game Boy games. Karen customer told me I was lazy at work today in 20 seconds flat. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. EF thinks my baby doesn't deserve to be baptized. This happened some time ago, but I would love others' take on this. Some backstory is needed on this. I became friends with a girl named Nikki through a guy I was dating. That relationship fizzled out, but I remained friends with Nikki. When I became pregnant with my daughter, she knew my daughter's father and I were not together, and I did not want him aware of my daughter's birth because he was unpredictable. My mother sent her a photo and she immediately posted it to my FB and basically blew up the plan of zero drama. I forgave her and we decided to have dinner together to smooth things over. It should be noted that I should have known what kind of person I was dealing with, because my daughter would go to anyone as a baby. If you smiled and put out your arms, she would come to you. Nikki was the sole exception to that. No matter how much she smiled and put out her arms, my daughter didn't want to go to her. That aside, dinner went okay until the discussion of my daughter's baptism came up. This is the moment that ended our friendship. Me, hey, so we scheduled the baby's baptism for January 17th, so please make sure you keep that day open. There will be a party after. Nikki, they are letting you baptize her? Me, yeah, why wouldn't they? Nikki, well, I assumed since you and her father weren't together or married that they wouldn't want her. Me, it's not the child's fault that her parents weren't married when she was conceived. They would not hold that against her. Nikki, that's weird. I guess the Catholic Church will do anything for money these days. Me, you know what, don't worry, you don't have to come. My child being the product of 2SL*TS and is just paying her way into a religion you don't have to attend. Wouldn't want you to be associated with our sins. Nikki, that's not what I meant. I am just shocked they are letting a child born out of wedlock to be baptized. I mean, you are going to stand up there with a whole bunch of couples and their babies and be by yourself. Aren't you embarrassed for you and for her? Me, not even a little bit. It was at this point I decided to pay the bill and get out of there before I wound up in jail. Being the petty person I am, I found out not long after that her husband and her decided to get divorced. I sent her a condolence card saying, "Guess we are both sinners now, lol." Context on the father situation, since some people were upset. Her father knew I was pregnant. About the same time I found I was pregnant, he proposed to his other girlfriend I had no idea existed. I was told to get an abortion or give the baby away for adoption. He would pay for an abortion but not a baby. He then proceeded to stress me out every chance he got and send my blood pressure to dangerous levels. I did not trust him not to do something to get rid of his mistake. I did not want the baby's picture posted because at times she would be in the nursery and not in my direct care. With the picture being posted to FB, she was in my room with me almost my entire stay at the hospital, and if she was in the nursery, someone from my family watched to make sure she was safe. He was made aware of her birth when I got home, and I was surrounded by people I trusted and would protect my baby. I would love to give everyone a fairy tale ending and say once she was born this changed, but the only thing that changed was I am no longer afraid of him hurting her anymore. I accept that this may make people think I am an asshole. I did what I thought was best for my daughter. The Catholic Church will do anything for money these days. Girl, do you know anything about the history of the Catholic Church? The Catholic Church will do anything for money, lol, but I took exception when she went after my kid as the poster child for sin. I mean, she is a hellcat, but she is a baptized hellcat, lol. Right? Honey, look up the term indulgences as it relates to the Catholic Church. Wahaha. Love the condolence card for the ex-friend. People say the most remarkable things, don't they? I'm so irritated for you, for her rotten attitude. But sounds like you did the right thing. Good on you. Thank you. This just floored me. I was like, what makes you think you can say this to me and I will sit here and take it? When my sister sold all of my old Game Boy games. This was before my dad got me the lock on my bedroom door that kept my mother and sister out. But I was 14 at the time, so it was 2004. My sister always clamored for money when she spent all of her allowance. But she was always caught when she stole from me. So why she even bothered to do this was astounding. In fact, this was so stupid even evil Mama Bear thought it was embarrassing. My sister wanted more money to buy games for her Game Boy Advance SP. So she stole all of the Game Boy games she could find in my room and even took my old Game Boy Pocket, then went with her friends to trade them at the local game store. She traded in like 15 games in the Game Boy Pocket just to buy one new game. When I couldn't find any of the games that were in my room, my mother EMB like usual acted like I just lost them. So I waited till my dad got home and talked to him. And together we confronted my sister since by that point she was the primary suspect in any of my stuff going missing. We entered her room and found her playing a new Game Boy Advance game that I knew she didn't have before. My dad and I put two and two together and asked where she got the game. She looked like she was trying to think of something to say and then just started loudly crying. EMB came running the second she heard my sister crying and demanded to know what we did. And of course my sister ran right to her and claimed we were being mean to her. I said she stole and sold all of the Game Boy games from my room and sold them to buy that new game. EMB tried her usual of, my baby wouldn't do that. But my sister fully admitted to it when my dad grilled her. He asked her what the hell she was thinking. Did she expect me to not notice? My sister surrendered her Game Boy to Dad and was grounded, again. My Dad took me to the game store on Saturday and we explained what my sister had done. But my sister didn't keep the receipt for the game, so we had to trade it back at less than half value. I got back most of my games. A few were gone already. And what had been lost for good my dad helped me replace if I wanted new ones. I didn't bother to get the old Game Boy Pocket back though since I hadn't used it in years. My sister got her allowance cut in half for the following month because of this whole debacle. And she made sure I knew how upset she was about it on a near daily basis. EMB, however, was surprisingly not on her side. She wasn't on my side either as she still felt like I was being mean. But she would almost always be on my sister's side back then for just about anything. But this was so idiotic that even EMB said what my sister did was dumb. Though she didn't hold the same opinion when my sister destroyed several game systems and stole the Xbox 360 my dad bought when I was 16 after my parents divorced. Seriously, OP, how didn't you already make a book with the stories of your posts? I think you have enough for 2 books. Probably. But for now I'm just content with Reddit posting. As glad as I am that your sister has changed, I'm still incredibly astounded that she was able to do so every time I read a new post of yours. Says a lot more about her character compared to EMB's. Yeah, my sister was very self-absorbed thanks to our mother. Which made her an extreme pain to deal with when she didn't get her way. Karen customer told me I was lazy at work today in 20 seconds flat. I work for a brewery with a large beer garden, full of fire pits and stand heaters which all take their own tank of propane. Obviously they are very popular through these colder months. Tonight, right as everyone outside was wanting their fires lit and I was busy going back and forth to the back to replace low/out tanks, Karen demanded I fix the photo booth, which is sometimes working, sometimes not. Last I had heard, it wasn't working, and looking at it, the screen was black which usually meant it wasn't working. I had a propane tank in my arms, so I told her I'm not sure it's working right now, but give me 1 second. In the 20 seconds it took me to go to the back and retrieve a full tank, I came back out to her loudly telling me, so it does work, you're just too lazy to fix it. My only guess is that she sprinted to the bar and convinced one of the bartenders to try helping her, and then sprinted back to be peak Karen. Speedrunner Karen. Does nobody refuse service to rude customers anymore? I miss the days working retail where someone would start acting like a Karen and I'd refuse them service every single time. Apparently, the days of politely, but firmly asking someone to leave is over. Nope. We're not even allowed to request that someone stop yelling profanities because we'd be stifling their right to express dissatisfaction. As soon as I saw stand heaters, I just knew. Karens are awful around these things. They are never in the right position for a Karen, and it's either too hot or not hot enough. I think we all would have turned out fine if these things had never been invented. Just give her the gas tank to hold while you fix the photo booth. See how she reacts to that. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.